Good morning. Welcome back to Conversations at the Corner. Today is August the 12th, and this is episode 82. Pastor Nathan, how are you this morning?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. We are in this new month of August, and we started with these interviews last week with Jacqueline and Jen talking about what they did in the office and just learning a little bit more about that. Well, letting our people learn a little bit more about that. We kind of know.
Yeah, we already know them.
But we have another guest today that we're really excited about. And do you want to introduce this guest?
Yeah, so I think most of our listeners probably already know Courtney Stevenson, who leads up our children's ministry. Ooh. Yes, so here's Courtney. I don't think I'm going to really say anything more about that. You know who she is. You probably read about it when you clicked on the podcast anyway, because her name is probably there. But I do believe we need to give her a question of the day.
Yeah, we need to include her in this.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
So question of the day, we do it every week in staff meeting, and Pastor Nathan and I do it every week when we're on the podcast. Okay. And so we wanted to include you in on this question of the day. So don't give it too much thought. It's just fun. You don't need to stress about it. Right. And Pastor Nathan, I'll actually start with you and then let you answer. Give Courtney a second to think about it, because you're used to having to figure this out.
Right, and I don't know the question.
Here it is. What is your favorite board game?
Oh, my favorite board game. This is kind of easy, actually.
Oh, sorry, Courtney. I tried to give you a little time. Go ahead, Pastor.
Yeah, sorry. But I'll tell a little story with it just to give you some more time. My favorite board game is called Ticket to Ride. It's a board game with kind of like these trains, and you lay train track across different parts of the United States. Now, when I first played it, probably right out of college, maybe 2005, 2006, somewhere in there, it was Europe. So it was like a map of Europe, and you would go to all these different European cities, and you would have to claim train tracks and routes and different things like that. Now I have the American version. I really like it. So the story that I'll tell is this. In 2007 or 8, somewhere in there, I played a game with some friends, and Olivia was with me. And if you've played the game before, you kind of know that there's kind of some sneaky, nasty ways to like hurt your opponent. Yeah. While not really doing a lot for yourself, quote unquote, where you just know that you can mess them up. Yeah. And I did that to her right at the end of a game. Like I placed this big 6-track car right in the middle of a route that I knew she was doing. And so I was just trying to defend, and she has never played the game with me since.
I don't play Monopoly for that reason.
She was not happy with me. But I was kind of like, this is the game. Baby, I got to play it.
I play to win.
I play to win. Yeah.
That's right.
But I guess I lose because I would like her to play it again because I enjoy it.
That was like pushing 20 years ago, though. So maybe talk to her. Maybe she'll do it.
I don't think she will. I have talked to her. My kids like it, though. I've taught them how to play it. And
do you dominate them, too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I have a pretty tried and tested strategy that works unless I'm playing with people who know what they're doing. Yeah. And I will tell my kids the strategy, but they're not dedicated enough to actually follow through with it.
That doesn't really harm you by telling your kids your strategy, right?
No.
You wouldn't tell Olivia your strategy, would you?
She knows.
Oh, does she?
She knows what I do. Yeah.
She just can't stop it.
No, she can't stop it. All right.
So what's it called again? Ticket to Ride?
Ticket to Ride, yeah. Okay. And one of the bad things about it is every time I play it, I get that Beatles song, She's Got a Ticket to Ride, in my head. Oh, you never. Come on. Anyway, I get that song in my head every time. So that's my favorite game.
Ticket to Ride. Got it. And I assume you have Ticket to Ride at home, right?
I do. And you know what? There are expansion packs like with the ocean and all this crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. And I went into the game store on Williamson and I saw it was like $75 for this expansion pack. So I haven't done that. Okay. So if anybody just feels like you want to drop $75 on me for, you could give me that.
Pastor Nathan has a birthday coming up in September if anybody wants to give toward that. Hey, have you played it with the youth group?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
And so I just got back recently from KMBC camp. Yeah. We take it there. Okay. We play it some. So yeah, it's fun.
Okay. Good. Well, thanks for expanding on that and explaining a little bit about it. Courtney, did I give you enough time?
You did.
Okay. Tell me.
I'm going to be a sore loser over here because we don't play game boards in my house.
Okay.
We don't enjoy it, I know. I did find a cool one for my kids one Christmas. It's called Snackosaurus Rex. Uh-huh. It's made for smaller children. So it was like 3 years ago or something when Grayson would have been 7. So they were all much younger, 7, 5, and 3. And so we played that quite a bit. And you set up, it's just a little circle, and you have a T-Rex in the center with a magnetic tongue. And you can choose to knock your opponents off of the board game. Like you roll the dice and you get to move around. And your goal is to have a set of food. And all your coin pieces are flipped upside down and they're magnetic. As you go around, you either knock off your opponent or you get to pick up a snack. Ooh. And again, it's a matching game. So
okay.
I taught it to my first graders this past year, and they really liked it at the end of the school year.
Okay.
So it's for younger kids. It's not.
Do you include like real snacks? Like if you get a match?
I do not. Listen, you're talking about. I'm not as fun. We eat snacks all the time, but I don't have the special ones that go along with the game.
Okay. So, that's good.
Yeah. Okay, so is there any game that you played growing up that you remember?
No, I was not a game family. We were the movie VHS family. Okay. We had a lot of VHS, Disney mostly.
Okay, quickly tell us your favorite as a child growing up.
I don't have a favorite Disney.
Okay.
Not that quickly.
Okay. All right.
Whoa.
I know, there's a lot that I enjoyed.
So I will tell you, I didn't grow up in a game family either. We didn't play, occasionally, but like we didn't play. My mom probably would have more. My dad's not a big game player.
Yeah.
I'm not a big game player. We play occasionally in our house, not a ton. I don't mind playing, but I have to play with people who like love to play.
Right.
If you're like me and you're like, I can take it or leave it, I don't want to play with you.
Oh.
If Pastor Nathan, if he's like, I am all about this, it's so fun, I'll teach. Like I can get involved in that.
Okay.
But so I'm kind of like you. Yeah. Here's a question I want to pose, and I'm not saying this is my pick, but I'm wondering about this. Is the game Guess Who considered a board game? Like you don't play it on a board, but it's not a card game.
You kind of have a boardish thing.
You do. Yeah, that's true.
I guess so.
Okay.
It's a matching game, basically. So yeah.
I really liked Guess Who as a kid.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with the classic and go with Sorry.
Okay.
We do play that occasionally at our house. It's easy to play. Monopoly takes way too long, and I don't have the stamina or patience for Monopoly.
I played that a lot with my friends in my teen years.
Yeah, I mean it's like a 4-hour game if you play it right. So I'm gonna go with Sorry. I know that's not like a great pick, but that's probably it's my pick, and that's what I'm gonna go with.
We play that one in our house too.
So. Okay. Yeah.
So my other one is probably Trivial Pursuit. I got to be with like some good nerdy people who know a lot. But that's really fun.
Yep. Have you guys played any of the Scene It games?
I have not. I probably should, but I haven't.
And it's got like a DVD, and you can play clips, and it's kind of a board game. That's kind of a cool one because it's interactive and all that. But they have like a TV version, like a game show version, or a sports version. So it's fun. So anyway, all right. So thank you, Courtney, for playing along. Pastor Nathan, you as well. Yeah. Why don't you kick us off with our time with Courtney? She's been our children's director for several years now. I think maybe 2022, right? It's about 3.5.
So it's coming on 4 years.
So you are well entrenched in children's ministry at Emmanuel. Yes. You're doing a great job. We appreciate you so much teaching our kids about Jesus. But we want to get to know a little bit more of the inner workings of the ministry. And specifically, we want our people to just learn a little bit more about it. And we want to highlight that and celebrate children's ministry, celebrate you as the leader of that. So I know that Pastor Nathan has some kind of interview questions, and so we'll just jump in with that and start our conversation.
Yeah. Right. Just like Pastor Matt said, so one of the ways that I think about this is that so if I'm just thinking about myself, I drop my kids off at kids ministry, and then I go do, I'm on staff, so I'm teaching or doing other things. It's like I put them in a vortex and then I pick them up when I'm done.
For your trust.
No, but we do. Well, so that's part of it though. I think a lot of parents or even especially people who don't have children may not really understand what goes into running a children's ministry. So I want people to really understand that. So let me start with this though. I'm going to you have the questions, but the big basic one is give me some of your background. How did you become a part of Emmanuel? And what led you into children's ministry? How did that start for you?
All right. We came to Emmanuel, I don't know how many years ago now. I think we were here for a couple years before I became the children's director. And it was at a hard spot in our life. We were looking for a home church that felt like family. We had visited several churches. They were much larger than number-wise than Emmanuel, but the family feel was not there. And that was something that was very important to Gareth and I both. And that is what drew us to Emmanuel Wesleyan specifically is the community you have here, the people that are here, and how they just pull you in and they treat you like their own. Like you've always been here. You didn't have to guess. And it was just lovely to come in and be a part of a church like that.
Okay. And so then what led you into children's? Did you have any experience in children's ministry before coming to EWC?
I have been a part of helping run children's camps before, and I did run a VBS style at a camp meeting.
Okay.
But I have a background in children's education. I have an elementary education degree, and went to Kentucky Mountain Bible College for that specifically. So I was involved in children's ministry in different areas and in different ways there.
Okay, so leading a children's ministry sounds like a pretty natural fit based on your education, kind of your background, all of that type of stuff. So what happened? Did you walk up one day and say, I'd like to be the children's ministry leader, or did someone come to you, or how did that happen?
That is not what happened. My husband came home, and it was after our previous children's pastor was leaving, and they were looking for someone, and honestly, they had already asked a few other people, and they were not able to do it and didn't feel called to do it. Okay. And Gareth came home saying there was this spot, and they need a children's pastor. And I said, well, babe, I could probably do that. I could probably do children's ministry. He says, you want to pray about it? I said, yeah, I want to pray about it. I said, but I love kids.
Definitely want to pray about that.
I definitely want to pray about it. I said, but I love kids. I think I can do it. Our kids are getting to the age where it wouldn't be so hard for me to be involved in something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was a need that our church had, and it was something that was not a full-time. It's not a full-time position. It is a part-time, which is big for me. And so I said, sure. I'd love to help with that. After much consideration and prayer, we talked with Pastor Matt and came to that conclusion.
And here we are.
And here
so
we
I think
are.
you started in like December of 22. Is that right?
I think so. Mac was, I was trying to remember how, because it's based off of how old my kids were. He would have been around 2.
Well, the transition that we were talking about happened in November of 22. And I think it was right after that.
It was.
Yep. So there was a kind of a smooth handoff. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I think December of 22 is when you've started off. So you're, pushing 4 years.
Yeah.
There you go.
I know it's been 4 VBSs.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
So,
that's a good way to
I'm telling you, I can tell you by
22, 23, 24, 25, 26.
Then I'm wrong. 23, 24, 25,
No, you started
26.
You started in
But VBS was in the
22.
summers.
Yeah, I can't count.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Started in 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Yeah,
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
So a long time.
It's been several years, almost 4 complete years.
That's right. Yeah, almost. Yep.
So let me get into kind of some of the more details. So one of the things I want people to think about is what goes on, or like what has to happen in order for a children's ministry to function. So one of the questions I wanted to ask was about curriculum. So how do you pick your curriculum? Do you review it? Have you ever made your own curriculum, or do you adjust the curriculum you have? That type of, talk to me about curriculum.
I have never made my own curriculum. I don't personally want to make my own curriculum.
It's not fun.
No.
Actually, it is fun if you're...
if you're talented in that way, I'm here for it. I like to review curriculum, but I find that other people are better at writing it and putting it in a format that is best for teachers and my volunteers that I would not be as good at. I am capable of creating my own lessons and can do that, but that would not be my choice, because I think for children you need a path, and there are goals that I have for our ministry, and I don't know that it would be easy for me to complete all of those goals with me writing my own curriculum all the time, or easy for my volunteers to use because they would be dependent solely on what I put together that week.
Yes. Okay.
That's a lot.
And then you'd be under the gun for that every time. There's like a deadline constantly. Mm-hmm. So I will tell you that that's true. So this interview is about you, but I'm going to tell a little story about me.
Go ahead and make it about yourself.
Just one moment. So when I was teaching middle school and high school in Bolivia, that particular class, and all the other classes like math and science have pretty rigorous standards, but Bible was a little bit looser. You could do more with it. And they came in and they gave me this curriculum, and I hated it. I was just like, I don't like this stuff at all. And I asked my principal, I said, can I just like do my own thing? And he said, sure. And I did, which was great, but it was also a lot of work. It was every day. My planning periods had to be, I was locked in and ready to go. But it is, to write curriculum does take a long time. And so you don't want to write it.
No.
That's good. And when you think about like VBS, there's already enough work.
Correct. There are so many options out there to choose from that I think that you can approach it with what best fits your church and find the best fit. And then of course I have multiple teachers every Sunday. There's 2 every Sunday, one for the pre-K and one for elementary, and they're not the same every week. And so they have liberty to look over the lessons and choose, they teach the lesson that I give them, but they have the liberty to discern what is best for their kids and adjust as necessary in that curriculum, which I like because I am not a script person. I enjoy having that freedom to choose what I think is best or adjust because not all curriculum aligns.
No,
with Wesleyan thoughts either.
Yeah, so. And when you're looking at it, they might have like a question in there that they want the kids to answer, and you kind of say, I don't know about that question.
Correct.
And then you set it aside.
Right.
Yeah. So when I think about curriculum, it's really interesting. I think about like the early church.
Okay.
They didn't have publishing houses.
Not.
They did not have curriculum companies.
They have Jerusalem Publishing now.
Like, what do they do?
Yeah.
So that's always like an interesting thing to think about is how things got taught. But so that's the curriculum piece. Let me talk to you a little bit about the kids. So what age ranges are you teaching in our children's ministry?
I personally teach kindergarten through 5th grade.
Okay.
But we do have curriculum for pre-K.
Okay.
Pre-K is some 2-year-olds, mostly 3 and 4-year-olds. And so we have curriculum that teaches that. We just switched curriculum, and we do not have a nursery curriculum at the moment, but that I specifically don't also because our children in nursery are so small. So we have books in there that we can read to them, and we play music for them while they're in there. That is,
but it's not going to be a structured.
No, it's not a structured lesson in nursery. When you have a baby in there and 2 volunteers and maybe a 2-year-old, it's a little more difficult to do a structured curriculum with that setting. So I don't have that. Yeah. No.
So that's a big age range. So you're talking about, like, let's just stick for you personally at kindergarten, pre-K, like that till 5th grade.
Right.
There are a lot of changes.
Yes.
Those are 2 very different things. So I kind of wanted to ask, what is in your mind kind of some of the biggest changes that you see in the kids, and maybe even some of the challenges in teaching across that large kind of spectrum of ages?
Engagement is the hardest part because you have kindergarten, and I'm going to throw my son Mac under the bus.
Sorry, Mac.
I know, he'll be fine. He is a busy little body and struggles to sit still, and he doesn't enjoy, he wants to be outside. Inside 4 walls is not made for him.
He wants to move.
Right. And so we do have movement pieces. We always play games in there. We have crafts in there. We do all of those things, and we sing at the beginning, and we have our own set of worship, which honestly is probably some of my favorite moments with them, to listen to them sing and worship the Lord. He doesn't enjoy it. And he doesn't mind telling me that. So there's those moments and you're like, okay. But then I also have the oldest, my son is almost the oldest now in that group. He's in 4th grade and they're both in there, and I have to engage both of them some way. So what we do is we have our full lesson together. It has been previously it was a video lesson. We are now switching. It will not be a video lesson. We're switching curriculums.
Okay.
That was done with much prayer, consideration, and I think curriculum needs to challenge our kids a little bit more than what this previous one was. So we have switched, and it'll start in August.
Okay.
And it will no longer be a video. The kids enjoy a video.
Of course.
This new one doesn't have a video. I did take that into consideration, but I think that there's something to benefit from holding the Bible out in front of them and reading them God's word and chatting about it, asking opportunities to respond from the kindergarten to the 5th grade level. And they do a great job responding, considering the questions that we're asking. But the video does help engage children. But again, we also split into 2 groups. We have a younger age group after our main lesson, and that goes and dives deeper into what we discussed. There are discussion questions, there's memory verse, a game or something like that to go within the memory verse and the Bible review, and then we all come back together for the ending. Okay. So we do break it off to better engage our 3rd through 5th graders and our kindergarten through 2nd graders.
Okay. That makes sense. I know it's not quite the same in youth ministry, but some youth ministries, especially if they're larger, will break up high school and middle school. And in part for that exact reason. You got kids that are just at different maturity levels, different types of engagement that they're willing to kind of work with. And so our youth ministry right now, our teens, it's not big enough for me to split it. I would have like 2 high schoolers, you know, but maybe one day it would be. And I did that a little bit in New York. But yeah, that makes sense because you've got little kids who have totally different learning capacities, a certain knowledge base. And of course, different kids are different.
Yes.
Some are going to be Mac and some are going to be Grayson.
Correct.
You know, there might be something in between that, you know. So that's good. Now, let me ask you this then. So if you're thinking about that, you've done it for 4 years now. So you're almost at the point where you're getting close to being able to see a kindergartner go all the way up through your ministry and then graduate into a youth ministry. What has been, I feel like this is kind of easy to say, but what's been the most rewarding about that journey, about kind of seeing the kids move through?
I enjoy when I see our older kids intentionally being helpful to the younger kids.
Oh.
They take time and help them find the memory verse in the Bible. I think that that's important, the way that they serve it that way, and they're leading in my children's ministry in that kind of way. So I enjoy that. I'm also thankful when they see a need for us as the volunteers that are teaching that day, and they ask for help, and they're growing in that way as well.
Okay.
But even more so, it's growing a servant's heart in the children's ministry. They come and they know a lot about Jesus. You know, our kids here are taught a lot about Jesus, but the knowledge that they have in kindergarten and how simple it is and how far it has grown by the time they're leaving, I find to be really awesome. Their growth as a person, their character traits, you get to watch them change because they do. They hit a weird spot, 3rd, 4th grade, and then 5th grade comes and you see them at 6th grade. So I don't know what you see, but
I don't know what I see either.
I don't know what you see.
That weird in between.
But my 5th graders have such a heart, thoughtful, caring servant's heart, and I love getting to witness that change.
Yeah, I think that speaks to the idea of character development. Like when you're young, and this sometimes is true for adults too, but when you're young, the whole world kind of revolves around you.
Right.
And as you grow older, part of maturing is beginning to understand that it doesn't revolve around you, that there are other people maybe who have some needs, and you can help, and you can play a part in the whatever it is that's going on. They have a hand in it. Right. And so then what happens is they have almost a skin in the game.
Yes.
It's not just them sitting back and being kind of fed, quote unquote, but they're a part of that process. And I think that's a really cool thing to see. And that's something you want to see with the teens and everybody else on up too. So that's a great thing. Let me pivot a little bit now.
Okay.
What is, and maybe they're kind of the same, but what is the most challenging part of leading children's ministry?
So I was processing this earlier today as I was reviewing the questions, and there can be many hard parts, honest. I think that making sure my volunteers have what they need is hard.
Okay. That's
hard. And I show them where the closet is, where they can get all the things that they need. I don't set it out for them. They can collect because I gave them the lesson, and they pick and choose what they would like to do out of that. So I don't plan all of it for you. I allow you to take ownership of it, and they do a fantastic job. So making sure they have what they need is hard. Making sure I have enough volunteers can be difficult. Right now, I will say I am overflowing with wonderful people. I just had 2 sign up after VBS to come and help, and that'll start hopefully in August.
Oh, great.
After I get them plugged in. So that's a huge blessing to me, because if someone doesn't show up or I don't have enough volunteers, it's me.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I can't serve 2 different places at 11 o'clock service. I can only serve one.
Right.
So having enough volunteers to be able to do that job well and not scrambling for volunteers the morning of is probably the most difficult.
We can also say that even though you said that you're overflowing with great people now and adding some, if you're listening, there is always room for more in children's ministry. Yeah. Courtney will find something for you to do.
Yes.
And we will use your gifts and talents and abilities and passions. So don't let that stop you. We can always use more to invest in the next generation. Right, Courtney?
That's right. Yeah. Well, with that being said, I have multiple people serving multiple Sundays a month. And so I'm sure that some of those people would appreciate not serving 2 and 3 times a month. Though I'm so thankful for their servant's heart in that, because it takes a load off of me.
Yeah. Yeah, and volunteers, it's always something where Sometimes that can ebb and flow with the seasons. Sometimes you might lose a few volunteers because they decide they want to do something else or whatever, and then you're short, and then now you have an overabundance.
Yep.
But that is always a challenge, especially because you have little kids.
Right.
And like for me, like with teenagers, it's a little bit easier if I have some volunteers fall off one night and I got to handle everything by myself or maybe just with one other person. It's fine. They're old enough. They can kind of engage and do things a little bit on their own. But when you're talking about kindergartners, you need some help.
Well, I mean, for the children's director position, there's technically 3 different places kids are meeting on Sunday mornings, nursery, pre-K, and elementary. So I cannot be in 3 places at one time.
Yep.
So I'm really I'm very thankful for my volunteers who lead in those areas and help me fill in when it's hard.
Yeah. So let me close out this interview with this last question.
Okay.
And I just want you to tell us something about your role that people may not consider or be aware of. What's just something that's kind of hidden inside of it that is not obvious to other people?
Great question.
I am constantly looking back over my curriculum even after I just purchased a new one, because I am concerned with how curriculum is made, as we've discussed, because I didn't make it.
Yep.
So I'm constantly reviewing it, making sure that it's where it needs to be. When I'm teaching it on that Sunday morning, I'm evaluating it as other people are teaching or as I'm teaching, just to see if it's fitting where it needs to be for our church and for our kids. I like a challenging curriculum, which I've already stated.
Right.
So when it starts, curriculum platforms continually change. Believe it or not, people like to keep upgrading things. And that's with our last curriculum. That's what one of the struggles was, is they continually were upgrading, but it wasn't an upgrade, in my personal opinion. They were losing some things in the process of the changes that they were making. And so I started talking with my few leaders that are in charge of those different areas and discussing changing curriculum. And I'm thankful for them. They come and help me process through things that could be easy for me to do by myself in some ways, but they offer a different thought process and insights into what it would or could be, and things that they see as well. And so when we're all in agreement, that I'm like, all right, a shift needs to happen. And that's where we landed this year. But that's a hard thing. I also start thinking about Vacation Bible School. Now, we just ended one last week, and I'm already processing what next year's Vacation Bible School
is going to
looks like. It's not just a start in January type thing. It's pre-planned and thought out, and I've already started recruiting people to help me with different things in that area. So it's just a constant moving.
Yeah, I wonder if a good way to think about that is that sometimes in a position like this, and this can be true of pastoral ministry too, it's not like you just go in on a Sunday morning. You're thinking about this stuff and trying to process it at other times as well.
Correct.
And one of the things that I wanted to kind of key in on when you talked about kind of looking at the curriculum a bunch, we're responsible for teaching children Scripture and God's truths. So we want to get it right.
Yes.
And so if you get a curriculum, even if you think the curriculum is great, there may be elements of it that you say, well, I'm not so sure about this. So we have to kind of adjust and think and constantly process. Now, that's different from me or Pastor Matt. Like, if I write a sermon, I write it and I preach it and I put it in my drawer and then I'm done. And I move on to the next thing. I might reevaluate it a little bit, but not a whole lot. But I think when someone else is writing it, there's a little bit more of an oversight responsibility that you have to be kind of locked in on.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah. Well, it was great to have you here.
Yes, thanks for joining us, Courtney.
Thank you.
I know when we asked you, you weren't thrilled about it. You willingly did it, but you did a great job.
Yes.
You did.
I smiled.
Yep.
You did. Yeah.
And one of the things I want you to know is, I know for me, I'm sometimes far away from the kids ministry because of what I said earlier. Like, I've got all these other duties, so I just drop my kids off. But I know my kids seem to enjoy their time there. They definitely are learning.
Yeah.
They learn like all the worship songs, and they know the Bible verses, and we work with them on that type of stuff. And so I am very appreciative of what you do, because what you do lays the foundation for those kids to grow up and become teenagers and eventually adults and hopefully lifelong disciples. So I think you do a great job, and I really appreciate the role that you have in this church.
Yeah, definitely. They say that something about like it's a 90% kids that accept Jesus do so at like a 90% rate before the age of 12. Yeah. And after 12, you got a 10% to get them. Right. And they may go the rest of their life without ever giving their life to Jesus. So that's incredibly important what you're doing, because you are, like Pastor Nathan said, you're laying foundation. Hopefully that's being laid at home first.
Correct.
It's not your job or the church's job to raise.
We're here to partner.
That's right. We're here to partner. And so you have an incredible job at teaching kids a spiritual foundation. And also, believe it or not, or whether it's good or not, the reality is that the children's ministry is also a huge part of whether somebody comes and stays at your church. Yeah. Children's ministry is a huge draw for people. It's a huge part of like church growth and multiplication, because if you don't have something for their kids or something that's engaging or enjoyable or that's teaching them, I mean, that's really important to people. And so the importance of what you do and what goes on back there is significant. And so I just want to thank you. I know Pastor Nathan has, but I just want to thank you as well for loving our kids and teaching them about Jesus, and keeping up with all of the volunteers. And your area of ministry has the most volunteers running through it of any place in the church. And so I know it's stressful when people don't show up or when they're late or all of the other things that go into it. But you handle that and you deal with it, and I appreciate it. And so you're so valuable to us and to our church, and we just want to say thank you. And to anybody listening out there, if you want to get involved in children's ministry, or at least want to just have a conversation with Courtney, talk to her. She would love to talk to you about that.
That's right.
Give you the opportunities, whether that's nursery, pre-K, elementary, or maybe it's something behind the scenes. Maybe it's being a prayer warrior. Maybe it's helping with just big events like VBS or the Christmas party or things like that. There are all kinds of different ways that you can volunteer. But Courtney, thank you so much. We love you. We appreciate you. We value you.
Thank you.
And what you bring to the table. So thank you so much for what you do. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's been nice.
Pastor Nathan, as somebody who has been involved in Next Generation Ministry with teens for many years, why don't you pray for Courtney and her ministry on our way out?
Absolutely. Heavenly Father, we come to you today knowing that the work that Courtney does and all of the volunteers that are in the children's ministry is essential work. I love that we talked about how the church partners with parents, that this children's ministry isn't the only exposure to learning about Jesus that these kids will have, but it is a big one. And it's important, Lord, that they be in a community where the people love one another, where they can see the love of Jesus from their leaders and teachers and volunteers. And so my prayer this morning is that you would bless Courtney in this area of ministry, that you would continue to give her passion and endurance and energy to do what needs to get done. Just like she was saying how when VBS ends, it just begins again. So give her that energy to keep doing what she needs to do. And Lord, I pray that you would bless her with great volunteers, with great helpers, that you would provide everything that she needs to do a great ministry. We're so thankful for her. We're so thankful for the work that gets done every Sunday and Wednesday and at VBS and all of the other events. Lord, we pray for these kids. This is the biggest thing. We want them to grow in the way that your son Jesus grew, in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and with man. So we pray that this ministry is an essential part of that you would bless them, that you would keep them, that you would have your hand over them, and you would guide them and lead them through this stage of life and on to the next as they follow you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Nathan. Thank you, Courtney, again for joining us. Don't forget, this coming Sunday, August 16th, is Back to School Sunday. We're going to be praying over our teachers and our kids as they begin a new school year. And join us next Wednesday, the 19th. We're going to have another guest on, and it's somebody very special that we're excited to introduce and to hear from. So thanks for joining us today. See you next week, same time, same channel. Keep rolling, Emmanuel.